We are live right now and singing a song from our hearts. And when we go to bed at night, I feel bad for you cause of my farts. And it's a time for a love morning. And we're making up a song. It's on the spot, the lyrics come to me. It's impossible to sing along. Welcome to Love Morning Now. Hi. Welcome.
I'm glad you took that one on your own.
Good morning. I am John Halcyon. I'm here with,
Lisa G. Littlebird.
and we are co-hosting this morning's Love Morning. So welcome. If you are here, please say hello. This is a daily practice, 9 a.m. Pacific time, where we gather to set the sails of our day in a direction of connection, kindness, presence, love. I sometimes, like when this started, I used the love word a lot, and then I kind of eased off. I think there's a courage aspect to like using the word love, and why? Well, because of things that like happened yesterday on my Instagram, where there something that I posted a thing about being a weirdo, and which is a clip from this broadcast a couple days ago, and occasionally things get picked up by algorithms, and so there was not all but probably like 6 people that commented in, like they must have saw something about a weirdo and go, oh, I'm gonna say bad things about weirdos, and they wrote. I was like, what the hell?
Wow.
So whether you're a weirdo or you're talking about love openly, it is a risky endeavor, and that's why we call ourselves love warriors or love ambassadors, because it is a challenge, and it takes some chutzpah.
Stick together.
Is that cultural appropriation if I say chutzpah?
Probably.
I am half Jewish, so I think I'm allowed to say that. Good morning. If you're here, say hello. Share what you're grateful for or where you're from.
Oh, the sunny Pacific Northwest. Talking to cloudy San Diego.
Yeah, it's quite overcast here right now. Good morning, Natasha. And good morning, Gerbot and Razorblade. Hello. We are live right now on Facebook and YouTube. So if you're watching this recording, know that you can hop into either of those places. Or if you're in one of those places and you're like, you know what? I bet things are better on the other side. You can hop back and forth. Because life is all about avoiding the present moment and trying to think what could be better than what's happening right now.
Wait.
Is that not right?
That's a different speech.
Different talk. Okay. Yeah. So we're being present with one another in this moment. Good morning, Janet. Janet is grateful for a wonderful trip to New York City this week. Lots of new potential opening up. How exciting. When you have exciting opportunities, that gets me excited. Janet is a creative maestro. My first Burning Man fur coat was a Janet T. Planet creation, and it was so dope, so awesome. Faith, good morning. Good morning to you in Florida. And good morning, Brent. Good morning, Joyous. Well,
Hi, everybody.
We were going to talk about, we tried to talk the other day about
we had so many good things to say.
Yeah. And if you were here the other day, the bandwidth or our computer shut down, and I made a big promise that we would come back online yesterday, and Lisa just said, I refuse. I don't care enough about those people, and I have got better things to do.
John has some memory issues. Not to out him publicly, but
okay, that's not exactly what
happened yesterday was, I love you so much, darling, and I'm going to my new 9 a.m. fitness class. So how about tomorrow?
That's true, and I actually am super inspired by your commitment to your practice. Do you want to mention a little bit about your current practice?
Sure. I'm doing a 40-day sadhana. Sadhana is a yogic word that is indicative of a practice that is designed to subdue one's ego in service of one's deeper wisdom through discipline. And so occasionally I do these sadhanas, and I create them. So I do whatever feels like it's important for me to cultivate. And this sadhana is 3 days in, and it consists of 4 components. Now I'm on the spot, okay. Relationship gratitude. It's been pretty easy. Music practice. I'm recording an album in December. Money, so saving and wealth building and doing a better job of tracking and tending my financial matters. And tending my body. And so every day I'm doing a fitness component to get strong.
Well, thank you. And
Yeah.
I feel like because you are so committed to it, it allows me to be far less disciplined because I absorb your benefits, osmosis.
That's how it works, I'm sure.
Good morning, John. Hey. And good morning, Elena. Hello to you in Belgium. How cool. And Miriam's here as well. Good morning, Miriam. I've been sharing about your journey in here the last few days, and especially shared about your clarification to my original diagnosis of your disappointment in people as you were traveling home and finding people who are default world closed down, and instead you say no, I was not disappointed or discouraged. I just had compassion, and I felt bad for the people who were unable to meet me in such a bright and wonderful way that I had become accustomed to in this community. So welcome, Natasha. Oh, I already said welcome, Natasha, and good morning. But getting buff, getting swole in mind, body,
Yes.
spirit, and finance. Yes,
Thanks.
exactly. Hello, Carolyn. Carolyn is being brave and jumping in last minute to star in a live styling fashion show art performance. Someone canceled last minute, and I'm like, sure. Still have all my stuff out, and I'm still in the zone. That's fantastic.
Awesome.
Someone else is into fashion shows that I know. Good morning, Jim. So we're going to share about our gratitude practice of our end of day gratitude practice, which I think we started to mention, and I'm not sure when it got cut off last time, but within days of our relationship, you introduced this idea that, hey, let's end each day with appreciation of the other person. And I should say that not because we were in bed together, because we are wholesome people and we are still chaste, and but so by phone, never in person at the end of the day before going to sleep together in the same bed, because we were just started dating. That would be impossible.
Hi, Mom.
And as someone who is practicing gratitude here every morning and then at noon and 6 p.m., it has been a beautiful, quite different, but enhancing practice. What has your experience been with it?
I love hearing your appreciations of me as often as possible.
Right. I think that's part of being a human, Yeah.
No, I really, I was so incredibly surprised and appreciative that when I mentioned it as this idea, you immediately said yes, no resistance, and then employed it. How often does that happen? And that you've led a lot of the time. Like, there've been nights that I forgot and John doesn't. And so, yeah, it feels to me like gratitude is... I'm going to back up just a second, because my sadhana that I mentioned, the overarching theme of my sadhana is enjoy your life, because I tend to be a person who orients to growth and challenge and like taking on the next thing to evolve and learn, and I think that's super important, but when it gets out of balance, I can realize, like, what am I doing all that growth for if not to enjoy my life right now? And I feel like that's an aspect of our relationship that is super wholesome for me and beautiful, that I'm learning so much from you about joy.
Who would much rather enjoy what's happening versus do work to make things better.
We're good medicine
Yes,
for each other.
exactly.
And so all that to say is, to me, gratitude practice is central to that theme of enjoy your life, because it's take stock now, not in the future, of what is awesome, and speak to it and amplify it, and that it creates a culture of appreciation over time to do that as a practice. And so we were talking, I don't know when the tech got cut off last time, but we were talking on Wednesday about how it actually shapes how we think through the day, and how when little things happen that open my heart, I start tracking them as like, oh, I can't wait to share that as my appreciation at the end of the day, if I don't say it in the moment. So it just keeps me tuned to that frequency of appreciation more and more.
I'm definitely not thinking consciously about the end of the day. But I also, because I am sharing gratitude now 4 times a day, like I feel like I trust myself to just like, I can just like in gratitude circles at noon, I'll say, I'll start with, I have no idea what I'm going to say, but I just know that like,
Yeah.
I'm dialed in. It's just so, it's the muscles are limber as far as finding gratitude. And I also love that, that so often, as you share, it inspires me to think of things. And it's such a wonderful way to end the day, of that, bringing the fading memories of the day and making them concrete again. And I was saying, like, I kind of wish we'd been recording the whole time, because I would love this documentation, so that when you're mad at me, I can go, look at this. You said, actually, I was good at that. No, just so that there's these, because sometimes as we're sharing gratitude, I'll go, oh, right, that happened today. And then I'm sure a week later, that's going to be gone again, but it is really, I think it keeps my appreciation for you so strong. And I want to address when you said, like, I was so quick to say, sure, I'll do it. I mean, during our first date, both acknowledged that this is something, and we are going to work to make this work. We had within a week had appointments with couples therapists. We knew, like, this is so
tending.
Yeah. So the thought of so my answer would be yes to anything that you thought would be helpful for our relationship, which is related to when I had my dark night of the soul 7 months ago, and had this real humbling experience. Part of the gift of that was for me to say, I will try what's working for other people. I have been historically somewhat arrogant about my path and my journey, and don't always take everyone's advice, and so to instead go, okay, I am going to stay aware of the people that I see with headspaces or perspectives that I admire, and go, if you say this is something that's valuable, then I will do it. And in that moment, I was so blinded with lust that that I would say yes to anything that you said.
It's recording.
Let me take a pause and say, good morning, Susan. Yay for getting out of surgery. And good morning, Michelle and Alex. Susan is so grateful for husband Bud, who's been taking incredible care of you the whole time. Yay! Big, massive
Blessings on your healing, Susan.
love and hugs to you and Bud. Lisa has taught me that sometimes the best comment is laughter. It checks all the boxes. Words are complicated, laughter is pure. Can I go off
Yeah.
track and talk about how we were talking about laughter last
Yeah,
night?
totally.
Yeah, because we were talking like we have. I mean, our senses of humor are so in line that it has. Speaking of like muscles, like it has. I have developed over time a little bit of a constriction around my humorous inspiration because when you make jokes and they're not heard well, it, like you shut down a little bit. And like I can remember in high school, I was considered very funny, and then when I went to college, nobody got my sense of humor because I can do like a deadpan, like sarcastic, like like we're gonna go camping, and I was like, careful, I had a friend who died of a bear attack last week, and people go, really? And I'd be like, no, 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 just kidding, I'm just kidding. And so I almost developed a tick where I started just saying, just kidding. After every, I'd be like, oh yeah, we're just gonna head out to the quad. Just kidding. And it was, and so to know that like, and just have this like visceral, like the flow of the thoughts and the comments are going has been, I think, tuned me into my humor muscles and the wit that is coming from not from here but just like the flow of wit, which is one of my, I think,
Super
gifts.
strengths. I love it. I
And-
love laughing with you.
And we were talking about how you said laughter pops you out of your thoughts.
Yeah, last night we were talking about this, and I found words I'd never found before, which is, to me, there's this a part of me that aches to be kind of pulled out of myself, like the grooves of my thoughts and my orientation. And so much of my laughter is actually the sound of John like popping me out of my expectations, because he says the thing that's completely unexpected most of the time, and I love it. I love it. That's my favorite thing.
And there's this parallel between laughter and Zen koans, like humor and jokes. Like you can't explain your way to having the awakening of a Zen koan. It just like has to hit you. In the same way, laughter has to both of them pop you out of the grooves of your thoughts. And so I think there is a spiritual aspect to humor
Totally.
as it pops you out of the well-worn grooves of your thinking patterns.
I love with great comedians. Like we were watching Eddie Izzard last night, who's one of my favorites. Now Susie Izzard, and that so much of what makes a great comedian great is that they speak truths that none of us have publicly acknowledged or been willing to admit to ourselves, and yet is always happening, and that there's a depth to that. There's like a philosophical, oh yeah, to a great joke.
And my introduction to a spiritual path was really through a guy named Jacob Glass, who gave talks about A Course in Miracles. And what cracked me open was he was hilarious. He was this kind of, I don't know if he would like the word, like kind of a sassy, bitchy, flamboyantly gay guy, but super, I mean, one of the most authentic seekers I've ever met. Like he didn't advertise. He just said, I'm giving a talk I'll rent a room and it would be packed with people. And he was just, I fucking love him. Massive influence on me. But when I started going, someone brought me there and I was busting up laughing. And in that place of like all my defenses were open, and I was just like, and it allowed me to, these ideas that old parts of me had stories of guarding me from, I was popped out of it. And it just like, all this stuff started to just land, and because I was in that spiritually laughing state. Yeah.
Well, I think it's one of the reasons your wit is so good is because you're a truth teller. And so you do use humor to kind of just say things as they are, and because they do reveal aspects of how you see the world in a deep and profound way.
Someone just mentioned, Elena mentioned Bo Burnham, who I think is a powerful practitioner of of comedy and truth telling, and who also I think does something that I was just thinking about, which is I have over time and continue have to learn to sometimes pull back on humor. That humor can be what relieves the pressure in a moment. It can be what softens tension, and there are times when the tension is important.
Totally.
And especially like that I used to have a tendency in gratitude circles when people would share like really intense stuff and the room was like sitting in that place of I would let the air out of the room a little bit with a little bit of softening, and then I was like, that doesn't serve us as humans. Like part of being a human is sometimes you laugh and sometimes
You
cook, right? Yeah.
I think we're good for each other in that way too, because I can cook for a long time.
We are live in Facebook and YouTube right now. If you're watching this recording, you can always subscribe on YouTube and get a notification when we go live for 9 a.m. Pacific time morning broadcasts. Good morning to Mingle and to Dawn. Hello to you in Utah.
Hi.
And big props, gratitude, congratulations to Mingle, who is onboarding her new role as a job. I won't say any details that I shouldn't say, but I'm super stoked as you are. Your path of speaking your truth is leading to a place where you are having a larger, bigger impact in doing so. Lisa is amazing, says Jim. I know, but don't tell her because I want her to. Oh yes, no, she's amazing.
Aww. Thanks, Jim.
So you're welcome. So if you are here and you have something that you're grateful for, you can share it with us, or someone that you think is a fabulous, humorous truth teller that you want to share with us. Hello, Trish. Good morning. And hello, Rob. We integrated last night a new part of the gratitude practice.
Oh yeah.
What did we do?
Well, after we finished sharing our gratitudes, which were pretty extensive.
Do you remember any of them?
Put me on the spot.
I in the moment I couldn't think of anything, so I was just curious. Okay, keep going. So we finished these gratitudes, which were great, mine especially.
Because it's all a competition.
Yes, I am the best at gratitude. And humility, I'm the fucking best. Okay. Sorry. Was that should have been cooking more? Yeah.
I love you. I said, what is something you're grateful for about yourself? And I just loved what he said. And it created this whole other level of depth for me around the gratitude, because I got to see the aspects that he's appreciating most about himself. And I felt this upwelling of even more love for him and of appreciation for the ways that you're growing and developing yourself and seeing yourself through your eyes. I loved adding that component. And I take a stand that the root of all suffering is self-judgment. It's actually, even if we're judging others, that the root of that is self-judgment, that the amount of obstacles we have to loving ourselves will always extend to every relationship we have. We can't take more love in from somebody than we can love in ourselves. And so to grow the muscle of self-appreciation, to me, is actually what makes loving relationship possible. And yeah, so I like the idea of planting the seed, whether it's every night or occasionally, to share those self-appreciations too.
It was interesting to me how, as practicing gratitude and sharing gratitude for you, was less vulnerable than sharing for myself.
Totally.
That there is, even as, I've had the domain cockybastard.com for 20 years and have been practicing self-love for a very long time, and even in the depth of trust that we have, even in that place, there was a a scariness about, oh,
Is this okay?
here's something that's good about me that I'm going to say to the world, and it's hard.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm so grateful for the self-love work that you have done. I think it's really made our love possible.
I love how we both have a lot of gratitude for the journeys before we met.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
Essential, required. Like both of us agree we couldn't have found each other a minute before we did
yeah.
and had the same experience.
And the kind of this confidence that we can figure anything out, and we can traverse anything, and we can, because we know ourselves that what our patterns are and what our less than ideal versions of ourselves tendencies tend to be, and so we can communicate that to each other, and we know, I think by enough self-observation you gain compassion for others. You know, because and my old struggle, you know, in seeing anyone not at their best is I have some responsibility to that.
Totally.
Well, how can I help?
Yeah.
What can I make them better? Is it something I did? You know, and with enough self-observation, you know that, wait, my shit is my shit. So their shit is their shit. Now, does that mean that I can make it worse? Oh, I could totally make it worse. And I can totally be
Or
supportive. Right. I can be helpful, but it's not my problem to fix. And so
Hallelujah.
Hallelujah.
Say it again.
It is not my problem to fix. And in fact, what I think we've been trying to practice and recognize is it's not even a problem.
Yeah.
It's part of it.
Yeah.
You know, the journey of growth requires you to get itchy and do this, be in the places that you don't like to be. And so when your partner is in that place, shifting to like, I love this part too. Easy words.
Easy. But the more we speak the words, the more they become accessible when you really need them, I think. And the more likely it is that one of us will remember at any given moment.
Yeah. And even if we don't, I mean, another thing that I think we've been good about is as we speak about our processes and there's this, we both know that we have thoughts, and a thought that we have at any given time is not a commitment to a belief or a truth.
Or it says anything about who we are. It's just the mental habits of a lifetime.
Right. And so that you could be going through a tough time. It could trigger me to have feelings and thoughts and fears. And neither of those things is any indication of a problem.
Yeah.
That's hard.
That's hard in the moment.
Hard. Yeah. And but as long as you can get to the other side of it, even if it felt like a problem in the moment, it's okay.
Totally.
And
that's trust building.
Whew. Yeah.
Yeah. We haven't had too much of that, but we've had a little.
Had a little. It was her.
It's all my fault. We can both agree when things go wrong.
No. That's why we get along so well. We're in agreement that it's Lisa's fault.
You heard it here.
Oh, let's say some hellos. Hello, Amy. And hello, Dawn. Dawn is asking, what's in our cups? Coffee.
Coffee.
Yeah. We both have a tendency to wean off coffee and then get back on coffee and then free ourselves from the bondage of caffeine addiction and then
do it again.
Step back into it.
I'm in it.
I'm a bad influence. She is. Remember, she started this broadcast talking about her sadhana, and I'm I'm like the trainer that says 5 more pounds, 6 more work. Like, are you gonna try to be disciplined? Well, I'm gonna make it extra hard for you. Oh, good morning, Kai.
For the record, I want to just point out that while you joke about that, I actually feel like I have more capacity to work on myself because you love me so non-judgmentally. So actually, at the deepest level, you make working on myself the easiest because I don't feel any energy from you to fix myself or be better or thinner or like that you love me as I am, and from that place it's fun to strengthen myself or do things that are growth oriented because I'm not striving to be more loved or to earn your love.
Totally get that. We were talking last night how I can eat a pint of ice cream and genuinely feel that you are not judging me for it.
That's true.
And I think that what's great is that there's plenty of parts of myself that are judging
Except
me
the
for
part that doesn't share with me.
That's true. We did have a little issue last night. I thought all she wanted was a quarter of the pint, and apparently she wanted to split it. And there was a part of my brain that had a well thought out reasoning why I was doing her a favor by eating so much of the ice cream. I was trying to help you in your sadhana.
I really am so grateful
Yes.
that I interrupted you. Sorry.
I think there's so much. I won't speak to everyone. I have a well-developed inner critic. I have plenty of voices that will have issue with any stumble, any misstep, any discipline. Yes, their accountability buddies are important when you can outsource that to a coach, that it's okay if you're going to scream at them, or a therapist. But I don't think you need your romantic partner to be the person who is guilting you into
Totally.
behavior change.
Totally.
And it's hard because, when you spend a lot of time with someone and then you at some point I'll say, "Oh, I feel sick to my stomach," and you'll be like, "Why the fuck did you eat so much ice cream?" But you don't say that. You just trust that, all right, he's doing his thing, he's on his journey. Maybe someday he'll decide that there's a correlation between the way his stomach feels and how much ice cream he's eating, but that's not my thing.
I think it's tricky with couples because there's things sometimes that we do that have behaviors that we do that have impact on the other, and those are worth speaking up about. Like if every time I drink coffee I become hostile to you, like I would want to know, like that.
Right now, you want me to tell you? Still, in front of everybody? No, I understand what you're saying. Sorry. Yes.
And that but I think starting from a basic premise that we're not here to fix each other, we're here to love each other and to grow together and to realize that change is hard and that nobody is exempt from the challenges. Yeah. I think the antidote to judgment, if either of us starts judging each other, is like, do I do that too? Or my version of it? And I've never had an answer that is no.
Well, it's like you said earlier. I mean, even exterior judgment is rooted in self-judgment.
Totally.
Yeah. Good morning, Shane, and hello, Terry, and Joyous, and hello, Gina. Blessings. And Rob is grateful for his wife, Natalie. I draw art on her hard-boiled eggs that I make for her every morning.
Oh my gosh. That's so good.
Winning, Rob. I love that. I first read her hard-boiled eggs as forehead. And I was struggling to imagine your morning routine, but hard-boiled eggs makes a lot more sense. If you've got something that you're grateful for, we would love to hear it. We will share for a few more minutes, and eventually we'll have a hug. And this is a a morning practice of gratitude and connection, reminding that we're far more alike than we're different. And there's lots of people out there that are like-minded and open-hearted. And sometimes you are the person that gives someone else the permission to be a little bit brighter, a little bit friendlier, a little bit more creatively expressed. Speaking of creatively expressed, I'll get more into this another day, I think, because it's a deep conversation. But I listened to this quote by Rick Rubin last night that the creative process is a devotional one, and that a true artistic creation, it has nothing to do with an audience or if people like it. You create something that you like. You allow people to see this thing that you think is worthy, but the relationship is between you and God. You are creating something. You're using your talents, your gifts, as to the best of your ability to create something as a devotional act. And I was like, whoa! It hit me so hard. And at first, it made me critical of myself for not making more polished artwork. And then I started thinking, I listened to it over and over again, and I started to think that, well, wait, if I describe myself as an artist, do I say that I'm a video blogger, or, am I a writer? I'm like, no, I describe myself as a lifestyle artist. And so all these good enough things that I do, I'm doing things daily, make post next, but none of those things have, I think, the reverence of a devotional, like a temple or a song that has been polished or something like that. But if I look at it all, and each video broadcast is just a stroke in the larger canvas, which is my life, then I absolutely view myself as in a relationship with God and a devotional act. Mm. And I think that that's kind of the root of my coaching too, is like, look, it's not really about the masterpiece that you create. It's about
who you
turning
are as you do it.
Each choice and act and value into a brushstroke. And then it doesn't matter what it looks like. It is a masterpiece as long as you are genuinely tuned into your authentic self, because that is the divine palette. That is something bigger than you, just by being genuine.
So good. I love you.
I love you too. Shane says, be the change you wish to see in the world. Amen. That's why we all get to be love ambassadors. Natasha says, I'm grateful for Carol Queen and Robert Lawrence and their pioneering of sex-positive education. Thinking a lot about Robert lately, and the both of them, and how they are evolving. So inspiring. Natasha, did you see that Tristan has a new book out? Her memoirs, or she's doing a book tour right now. I am eager to read that. Good morning, Pamelot. Pamelot is feeling pretty blessed and so thankful. I continue to pray for protection and blessings for me, my family, my friends, my special friends, and all God's children. Beautiful. Kai is grateful for breaking the action, to lay in bed a little longer with nowhere to be until much later in the day. Grateful for the honesty of others. Cheers to that. Good morning, Victoria. Has gratitude for immediacy. I'm grateful that you were our neighbor at Pink Heart, Victoria. You were an inspiring. There's some people got hit with rain and mud, and there was an adjustment period, and Victoria was like a desert shrimp that just came to life. Like, all right. Is that what they're called? Shrimp? Do you see pictures of that? There's like these like animals in the playa that do you not see this? You know what I'm talking about? Oh, okay. It's a real thing. Curious here. Good morning. I'm so grateful for feeling energized and lit up by love today. Yay! Me too. All right, we'll just do... I don't want to say goodbye. I just want to stay broadcasting forever.
Till next time.
Till next time. Well, you'll be back?
If I'm invited.
Should we get her back? guys. Yeah.
I'd say probably Monday, Wednesday, Fridays are my available options.
All right. Well, hopefully we'll see you Monday morning. Julia's here. Grateful for a new year and the reset opportunity it brings. Carrie says, my camp was full of desert shrimp. I only saw them in pictures.
Wow.
Bring Lisa
see
back. Bring Lisa back.
Oh.
Bring Lisa back.
I feel the love.
Awesome. Well, as always, we're going to close with a hug. So, with that,
Put down your coffee.
put down your coffee and embrace the body you're in or the body you're with. And feel the arms that you are holding yourself with. Let it be symbolic of our arms, the arms of everyone here, everyone who's ever been through this space, this Hug Nation intentional place of recognizing our like-mindedness, our community support, knowing that it doesn't matter where your heart, it doesn't matter where your feet let me start over. It doesn't matter where your feet are, it matters where your heart is. And in this moment, we can be connected in this place of connection and intention. And so as we go into this day, let us all be strengthened by the knowledge that we have each other's back, and there is value and activism and purpose in just shining your light and being your authentic self in the world. So let's take a deep breath in and squeeze one another. Hold it. On behalf of Grandpa Caleb and all of you beautiful love ambassadors, thanks for being here for our love morning. Special thank you to Lisa for being brave enough to come on camera with me.
Aw, feels easy. Feels fun.
I love you.
I love you.
And I love you in a different way, but there's overlap.
Grateful.
Bye.